My first record was like the third Daft Punk record, I think. I wasn't allowed to listen to music till very recently.
That explains how much fun you are.
This week on Gritty Birds, we're talking to Portland band Eyelids.
So this is Reggie Jackson.
I'm Reggie Jackson. I'm John Moen, and I play in the Eyelids.
I'm Chris Slusarenko. I also am in Eyelids.
You're listening to KXRY, Portland X-Ray FM, 107.1 and 91.1. My name is Jenny Wren Stotrup. I'm an artist, producer, and podcaster based out of Portland, Oregon. Every week, I share a new story straight from the voice of a successful artist or industry professional. Want to know the secrets of the grittiest in music today? Stay tuned. John Moen and Chris Slusarenko are two of Portland's most prolific musicians. They met in a different day, when they were just kids hanging out at Satyricon.
Our bands were in our late teens when we met at Satyricon. John was in a band called Dharma Bums, and I was in a band called Death Midget, and we were both playing opening for an SST band.
Chris had super long hair and was wearing a beret, and I was wearing pajama bottoms and no shirt.
Yeah. It was a good meeting.
It was a charming time in history.
Our bands were super different, but there wasn't even enough bands to go around to put on bills. So we played a lot with bands that weren't similar. It was a really kind of nice hodgepodge of weirdos doing different sonic things.
Yeah.
So yeah, we met back then and we just became friends. And then we got to know each other better later, and we just started other projects and things together.
Over the years, both musicians have worked with an impressive lineup of artists. For John Moen, he's currently most known for his work with the Decemberists.
I joined the Decemberists around 2005, I think. So they'd just made the record Picaresque with Rachel Blumberg on drums. And she got done making the record and I think was just like, I don't want to tour. And so they had to find someone to replace her. So I went to it, my first audition ever for that band, and oddly enough, Polly, who plays drums in Eyelids, was also at that audition. So that was kind of funny. I'm always a little feel a little awkward. Polly, I'm sorry.
He does look at you.
He just gives me this weird look
the
sometimes.
Back of your head.
Like we'll be joking around and then he'll just look at me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Then it was your first audition for a band of people you didn't know.
Yeah, right. Like where you go in, because, so much of being in a band in Portland, I feel like when we started was, there's, my best friends are guitar players, and so we're a band, and you just kind of always rolled like that. And then it was kind of crazy to have it be, since I wasn't, on a track to be like some sort of studio dude, go to school for music kind of thing or anything. It was just kind of like it was nerve-wracking.
For Chris, he stayed busy touring and recording with Guided by Voices until 2004. After leader Robert Pollard broke up the band again, John joined them for a new project.
The deal is that I was in Guided by Voices, and then Bob broke it up for the first time in 2004, and then Bob and myself continued working. I did 2 albums that were my music and him singing on it, called The Takeovers, and then we did some incognito bands like Carbon Whales, and then we did, I think, 7 or 8 records that includes like 7 inches and full length and double bootleg records that were John playing drums, myself playing all the instruments, except once in a while I'd bring in a guest, and then Bob singing, and they were his songs, and I would take them and decipher them and then lay down the tracks and stuff, and John would play, and then we'd send it to him.
That was called Boston Spaceships.
Yeah, and we toured with that and stuff, and so we did that for 3.5 years or so. But it was like, I think that's part of the reason we put out a lot of stuff now is, it's just really fun to just keep making art and music and stuff. So
yeah, you get used to that pace, the Bob pace, and then you're like, oh no, we got to keep moving.
Yeah, it's fun.
Shark in the water.
Touring and working as sidemen for nationally recognized acts allowed the musicians access to continue to support themselves as artists while growing into their own projects.
If you can make a living being creative, you have to. It's really rare that you can do the one thing and then be like, this is my one creative outlet, and it allows me the time and and shelter and food and stuff to be creative and do this and continue. It's like chicken and egg stuff, you know. It's a lot of times you have to do.
Costs a lot of dough to live in this town.
Yeah.
You gotta keep working.
Yeah, and you just gotta have all these different outlets and then the energy for it, and still want to, you know, go down in a basement and make, you know, a racket with people, you know, when your time is limited, and still be like, I love doing this, you know, come out with that. Is, you know, that's kind of where things are at. And if, you know, if you're not feeling it, then I think then it's just done. It's time to go.
2.5 years ago, John and Chris finally came together on something of their own, the beginning of Eyelids.
We were going to do this before John got into the Decemberists and before I joined Guided by Voices. We'd been in a band with Jim, who was also in the Dharma Bums with John. We'd done this kind of fun early garage thing, pre-Austin Powers garage thing. That's how long ago it was, called the Cavemanish Boys, with a hero of ours from Portland called Jerry Moore. He was in a band called the Miracle Workers. That was like our favorite band in the 80s. And it was just really fun. And we were kind of taking the piss out of it a bit. And because it was fun to...
It was kind of a New Year's band, you know, like we'd play...
We'd play holidays.
Party things.
Yeah, we'd play like Bastille Day, New Year's Day, or New Year's Eve, I'm sorry.
A lot of covers, you know.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was great.
John and myself, you know, we have quite different approaches and tastes, but we have certain things that we connect on musically, and I think that was kind of interesting to us to kind of, let's just see if we can, you know, what between our, how we can meet here, but we just ran out of time. And then one time I was playing John some demos we made together, and he pretty much was like, we should do it. We should totally do it. And then I don't know if he thought I'd hold him to it. And I just was like, all right.
I didn't. I thought it was another one of those conceptual bands that I've been in 500 of.
Yeah.
But now my time is really co-opted.
Yeah, you're screwed. That was Psych Number 1 by Eyelids from their 2015 release, 854.
We're talking with John Moen and Chris Slusarenko of the band Eyelids. John and Chris have a really great chemistry and a mutual respect for one another.
I think the personalities in this band come through in our music in terms of like our friendships, and practices are really fun. We laugh a lot. We goof around a lot. And we hang out together. It's kind of great, I always thought when we were recording the stuff for Pollard that you could hear so much of John's humor and personality in what he played on it, and then it allowed me to kind of go in later and add my situations to it. But I feel like he's got a lot of character in his playing, and with having 3 guitar players in Eyelids, it could be if we were all just pedal hoppers and like super dreamy, it could be just like, yeah, there's a song in there a bit, or it's all ethereal, but we all kind of have our own little piece that we bring to it, and we kind of create holes in an exciting way. We were working on a new song yesterday, and I got really excited because it was just like it was creating these really cool spaces in it but there was all this punctuation to it, and I just was like, it was completely accidental, but that's just the way we played it. It's what we wanted to do, and it was just like, yeah, that's kind of done. Came together really quickly.
It's one of the advantages to, I think, playing kid music when you're really old like us is that you can bring a different level of there's some maturity that comes to the arrangement if you have already gotten through your yeah stage a little bit, as far as making it a little more like, well, we're young and we just want to barf it all out, that stage, because we don't. I'm a little past that for the most part, but there's still some of that in there. But we can now make arrangements like you know when to sit out, you know when to back off a little bit and let like when we have 3 guitar players, so when I'm listening to what I should play in that, I'm like figure out who's playing the strongest thing at the moment, and then it informs what you do. And it's not a competition of piling up, it's like a backing down at times, and I think that's nice.
The two balance each other off really well.
Handy to know that like I write half and Chris writes half of the song, so that's kind of what is when he's talking about us meeting with our thing, we kind of
so what's the half? Is it like there's a 30-second point?
No, I mean we just I don't think we neither. I don't take it super seriously, but it does seem to work out for us to both take about half of the duty, and it's kind of great because I don't know, my favorite songs we do are Chris songs, so but I still love writing, so it just seems to work out.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I think we pull each other in different ways. I think like I've always been in kind of more aggressive, screamy things. Just kind of been my kind of the people I've surrounded myself with. So it's been really fun to, do something a little bit more melodic driven, and it still has aggressive moments, but it's like I never thought I'd be in something that had prettier moments or more melodic moments instead of just energy. And I feel like this is kind of pretty rocking at times. I'll turn around and John will be doing some crazy lead thing, and it's really got a lot of like distortion and cool effects on it, and it's just like I think we've just it kind of makes a really nice little musical egg that we've created.
Yeah. And from an egg comes an omelet. We all know that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I don't know. I
haven't had breakfast yet.
And I think that
just a smoothie.
It is fun to have the kind of call and response in our songs. I mean, we just had a new song we're recording for the next record, and we basically, kind of combined 2 parts of a song that we figured out were in the same key, and then we just like we
half
each
you,
take,
half me.
Yeah, and we switch back and forth. It's really fun. It's I love it.
One of the things about Eyelids that stands out is their interesting approach with visuals. When I first reached out to Chris, he sent me a plethora of videos, and it's no accident. Chris has a degree in film and runs a video store in Southeast Portland, Clinton Street Videos.
It's just idea to idea. Like if we're gonna make a video, we did one where we were kind of modeling it after a video Chris had seen on that
It's
was filmed in the 60s, and we kind of
yeah.
it had all these kind of crazy sets in it and stuff, and so I definitely made a notebook of ideas and we built sets for it.
Yeah, it's a film called Pop Gear.
Yeah. So, it's just that project required we had to come up with some things to build, and so you had to make some drawings and take some measurements and figure some stuff out.
I'm really into like homages and stuff, just like tributes to things that people don't know what they are, but they should be celebrated. So like lost films, old British.
It should be said that Chris has got a pretty strong film background too. Went to school for it and runs a video store.
Yeah, we like physical products still. We like, making artwork and having people like sit with it, and it's just we like pretty objects.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, like a Ming vase.
No, we have like we always have the artwork done before the single though. It's pretty awesome. So we always kind of have a little bit of a visual component going in. It's kind of fun way to make the record.
Mm-hmm.
But this time it was, and but it just helps like before we go to record it, we have the images already like with us, so it sometimes helps kind of get a vibe going, because I love album art still. I feel like there's more of it than ever, but sometimes just a good one's really it stands out still.
Came across from Oakland at 595 and spoke him to
That was Slow It Goes from Eyelids. The single is off the limited edition 7-inch that they just released this month. It was recorded in studios and kitchens around the city.
We're going into to do the LP, the second record this winter, and so we wanted to have we had some new songs, and so we wanted to put out another 7-inch. It's our fourth 7-inch, which is I love the format. It's the best. So shoved 3 songs on there, and recorded some of it at Destination Universe, which is Victor Nash's place, and then some at Jonathan, who's in the band, some at his house, and then one song that was just done in my kitchen and then finished at John's studio. So it's all over the map.
Mm-hmm. Yep, super fun. It's just it's nice to be able to just kind of keep rolling songs out, and singles are a fun way to do that.
There was a song that John finished up on the single. So, I recorded it in my kitchen, and then John went and played drums on it, and I played bass, and then he kind of, mixed it. And there's some sounds in there that I just was like, I don't know what he did. Like, there's a weird, kind of ringing metal hit that sounds like a bell a bit. And then there's, I'm like, I think that might be electric piano. I can't tell. It sounds percussive, and even I don't know. But I got kind of thrilled hearing it back for the first time, because I was just like, oh, I wrote this song, but it's like, I'll never know the full story of how this song got made.
You cut out the paper doll, but I dressed it.
There you go. Yeah.
Eyelids released their debut full-length 854 in January 2015. They are working on their follow-up this winter, returning to the studio with Peter Buck of REM.
We're just making demos in the basement and, sending stuff to each other. Peter Buck is going to produce it again. He produced our last EP. And so we're trying to get kind of the shape of the record a little more. Like, I still think we're bringing things in and taking things out. But I'm really excited about it. We were playing him yesterday, and it's kind of vibrating when we left. I kind of didn't want to stop. It's just fun to have new things appearing.
Despite having been in dozens of bands, it wasn't until Eyelids that Chris had the first opportunity to record a second album under a project he'd written.
Well, what's interesting at least for me is, I was in a band called Death Midget. I mean, you can't get any more naive to be in a band for 5 years called that just made cassettes and stickers. And then I feel like now I'm kind of back in a kind of fun sticker cassette. Really, it still has a lot of. I feel like it came full circle with it in a weird way in terms of the excitement and energy that I had when I was younger making it. I don't know where things go, and I don't know how it's going. It's just we just do it, and it's exciting. And where things, with Guided by Voices, you kind of knew, all right, we kind of knew people would be there for this, or this is what they wanted from us. I mean, this is. We're making a second. I mean, we've made a lot of records, 7 inches and EPs and a full length, but making a second record with 13 or 14 songs on it, I've never got to do that in a band that I've been a songwriter in. All my bands have just imploded, or they just didn't release stuff. Oh. So, they'd have one record and then break up. Then I'd be in another band. We'd make one record and we'd break up. So, because bands didn't last either. They weren't made to last. Bands would be around 2 or 3 years, and then they'd just be like, I'm done. I hate you. And now bands reform, or they just, they don't quit, and it's like everyone's kind of gotten older with it. You know what I mean? There's no reason to stop if you still are enjoying it.
The band has toured and worked around the world, primarily in the U.S. and the U.K.
We had a really cool thing happen too, where our record was put out by Tim Burgess, who's in a band called the Charlatans UK. He heard our record and wanted to put it out on his label in the UK. But there was a rockabilly band called the Eyelids over there.
In London, right?
I think outside.
Okay.
But then we basically were like, he's like, what should we do? And they were called the Charlatans UK because there was a band in the US called the Charlatans. So they slapped the UK on it. And he's like, it worked well for us. And so we, in Europe, our albums are Eyelids, OR, for Oregon. And we thought that was really funny, like, Eyelids OR. And so it's really funny, like, whenever we've been played on the radio there, I'm not used to hearing people say Eyelids OR. So it'll be like, coming up next, Eyelids OR. And then you're like, what is that? I don't know what that is. But it was kind of fun to have something weird happen with our band name. And,
They plan to continue touring after their next album.
We'll tour again next year. We're not like road insanity people. Just can't do it realistically. But we have gone out quite a bit considering those limitations, and it's been cool. We
a couple of us are like, got families and what have you.
Yeah.
So it's
in the store and stuff, but we make it work. And we did that U.S. tour with the Charlatans. That was awesome. And then we did a West Coast tour with Tommy Keene, and we're just we'll just keep going. And I think next year we'll definitely be doing some shows outside of the Northwest again.
Yeah,
it's fun. It's fun to go to like Chicago or New York or LA and play to. I mean, for a lot of people, they were there to see the Charlatans and had not heard us, but people were quite relieved that they liked it. Yeah. Like we're the world's greatest opening band.
Really? That's pretty tough talk.
Yeah.
That's pretty tough talk. It used to be Quicksilver Messenger Service, but now it's us.
Yeah, well, it's a double.
Yeah.
Eyelids are a band that were a long time coming and hopefully will be around for some time. Here's what they said when I asked them what their advice was for artists coming up.
I would say to people to maybe
I like this.
have a not have your outcomes too planned. You know what I mean? Like if you to enjoy what you're doing and put positive energy into it, and certainly not to say you shouldn't ever make a plan about how you want the end of the year to look for you, but don't be discouraged by the end of the year not looking how you thought it would look. There's just a lot of music out there, and it's hard to find a spot, I think.
Mm-hmm.
As far as whatever, making a living at your art and all the things that you might want to happen. It might happen, but it might be slower than you think.
There's going to be some time for couscous and jelly.
Yeah. Or just enjoy the process of doing your thing enough that you're not just too bummed out by things not immediately.
Yeah, like we were really bummed out that Jay Leno didn't have us on the Tonight Show, even though we weren't a band yet.
Now it's just way too late,
and so we don't talk about that
ship
anymore.
Has sailed.
Yeah, we just kind of let it go.
We're a few songs away from being done. Mm-hmm. Probably, but we have a goodly collection. Yeah.
Then we got Shooty Dooty Dig Dong Ding Bong Bong.
That's the coolest.
That still has to be written and finished. And then
the coolest song title. Rockadakada is going to blow the lid off of this town. It's going to be it's going to be like one of those party. It's like hey ya.
Well, I don't know if it's the problem is I don't know if it's like he said or if it's she said or we said. I don't know who I'm singing about yet.
Right.
So as soon as I get that figured out, it'll be, yeah.
If you're not thinking about Charlize Theron, I don't know who you're thinking about.
I don't know if it's going to end up that way, but right now it seems really funny to have a lot of songs that have parentheses in them.
Yeah.
Like,
are you into parentheses?
Yeah, so it's like, like don't, and then in parentheses, please come around here. Like, don't please come around here. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like it.
It's cool because you can say one thing, but then kind of not.
Yeah.
That's neat about parentheses.
Yeah, we do that a lot.
Thanks for tuning into Gritty Birds on X-Ray, 107.1 and 91.1. We're a podcast as well, so check back on Thursday for its release on all your favorite podcast networks, and a lovely video portrait of the band on our socials. That's at GRITTYBIRDS. Special thanks to my new copy assistant, Amy Burton, for helping out with the episode. If you haven't left an iTunes review yet, tisk tisk tisk, it's waiting. See you next week.